everyone, Michael here. How are you doing? So I thought I'd do another video on women's boxing. I did a video on women's boxing recently. I did a video about Ebanie Bridges versus Shannon Courtney. So I had a look at those two online. I had a look at their fights on YouTube, and I think Ebanie Bridges is going to win the fight. I think she's capable of it, and she's very hungry. I think boxing, from my own experience, boxing is a lot more mental, is a big part of it, the mental side of boxing. And for me, Ebanie Bridges just seems so passionate about it, so I really believe she can win the fight, and I look forward to it. I want to see it happen. But personally, yeah, I'm going to go for Ebanie Bridges to win the fight. But this is sort of a general video on women's boxing, and the reason I talk about Ebanie Bridges is because, okay, I might as well address it. Look, it's not that I've got a crush on her or anything like that. It's just, as a person, I think she's very bright. I think a lot of fighters, it's like they don't really seem to get the marketing side of boxing, the business side. You have to be able to attract attention. You have to be able to generate fan interest. And for me, I respect her, because there's not a lot of fighters you see who actually understand that. Who do I think understands the business of boxing? Probably you'd have to say Joshua. Joshua's been doing Anthony Joshua, obviously. But yeah, just a lot of fighters. I mean, take Mayweather. I don't think Mayweather understands boxing. I think it's Al Heyman and his team that do all the business stuff for him. But you see, Mayweather's done well. Made more money from boxing than any other boxer in the history of boxing. So, well, good for Mayweather. But anyway, so I just sort of have some 5 points that I just want to sort of give advice to female boxers in particular, but just boxers or male and female boxers in general. Just sort of 5 guidelines which I believe, if you follow them, it should help you to achieve more success in boxing. I might be right, I might be wrong, but just something for you to think about, and hopefully I get feedback and people can tell me if they think I am right or wrong. So number 5, what I believe to be number 5, I would say you should surround yourself with an honest and reliable team who actually know boxing, who are passionate about boxing, and actually know the sport of boxing. You have to be careful. Do not hire too many people, and because obviously it cuts into your money. And if you have too many people on your team, that's just too many mouths to feed. And are they necessarily going to benefit you? You don't need a massive team. You just need, you need trainer, you need, say, second, who else do you need? Cut man, I suppose, or cut woman, if there's any women that know how to sort cuts out. So, you have those guys, maybe a manager, maybe a promoter, or maybe you can manage and promote yourself. It can be done. But just, you don't need a massive team, nutritionist, massage therapist, physiotherapist, weight training coach, running coach, stretching coach, etc, 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 football coach, national coach, rugby coach. I mean, because if you have all these people in your team, they all cut into your purse. Where's your money going? And are they actually delivering value for money? So that's number 5. Yeah, I think that's a good rule to follow. Number 4. Develop your personality and a life outside of boxing. So I think if you're a more interesting person, which Ebanie Bridges obviously is, develop a personality outside of boxing, develop a life. So Ebanie teaches, she works as a maths teacher, and you have to have a life outside of boxing, have business interests, set up a business, do different things outside of boxing, go to different countries, learn different languages, get a second career. I mean, you look at Jessica McCaskill, she works in a bank, and while she works at a bank, she beat Cecilia Brækhus. So it can be done. Don't, just because you have a day job, it doesn't mean you can't succeed in boxing. Because Jessica McCaskill, with only 11 fights, she beat Cecilia Brækhus, who was a full-time fighter. So it can be done. But have a life outside of boxing. Whenever you're away from training or out of camp, you need to have a life. You need to have other stuff you can do in your life. You know, get into acting, because that's something I'm currently working on. I really want to get into acting. I mean, I enjoy boxing, I love boxing, but you know, I don't want to get punched in the head forever. You know, I'm 30 years old now. You know, obviously once you're too old, you're too old. You know, I don't want to get knocked out by someone young enough to be my son. You know, you don't want that, do you? So the third sort of rule is build a strong fan base and form friendships with other fighters. So if you have a fan base, you know, these are the people that are going to support you, get your numbers up. These are the people that are going to pay for your pay-per-views if you get to pay-per-view level, which is not easy. But these are the people that are going to support you. These are the people that are going to buy your t-shirts, buy your hats. These are the people that are going to make you famous. And that's what happened with Ebanie Bridges. You know, they made her famous, and commercially, Matchroom thought it was worth giving her a Shannon Courtney fight. I mean, Katie Taylor's commercially quite big because of the Olympic gold medal. Who else would I say is big in female boxing? Yeah, Clarissa Shields is trying her best. Who else is big? Cecilia Braekhus never really managed to sort of break that. She never really got there. You know, just too quiet personality. She boxes over in Europe. So, you know, a lot of people, we never saw her fights. To me, I've always been a massive fan of Cecilia Braekhus. I almost met her once, but yeah, I missed the opportunity. But I'll meet her at some point. But yeah, Braekhus never managed it. But yeah, Katie Taylor, commercially a very big name. Matchroom have done a great job with her. And you know, you've got some of these other Matchroom fighters. You've got Savannah Marshall, Terry Harper. Their profiles are starting to develop, you know, and Matchroom obviously the best promoter, you know, best promotional outfit in the world right now. Matchroom are doing quite well. Number two, one of the most important things in boxing, I would suggest to women and obviously men as well. You need to develop your fighting ability and your punching ability. No matter what you do, no matter how many fans you have and social media, etc, but you actually need to be able to fight. That's the most important thing. You need to be able to fight, you need to be able to punch, you need to put on exciting fights. I mean, I watched the fight last year between Tasha, Jonas and Terry Harper. That was an exciting fight, I really liked it. Tasha got robbed, Tasha definitely won the fight. But at least Tasha's got a fight with Katie Taylor coming up quite soon in May. So that's a good fight which I really want to see. What other fights do I want to see? Female fights. I'd love to see Savannah Marshall versus Clarissa Shields. I think Savannah Marshall beats her. I want to see Michaela Mayer versus Terry Harper. I think Michaela Mayer beats Terry Harper. Alicia Baumgardner, you know, she's another American fighter. I mean, there's plenty of female fights out there, and I don't mind women's boxing. I'd love to see more female fights. But, you know, I want to see competitive fights, I want to see good matchups. And, you know, I'd love to see the women get paid more. If they get paid more, they can train, you know, they can dedicate themselves to boxing, and they can, you know, they can sort of... boxing's not an easy career. And if you're not making money, it's even 10 times harder. You know, so I really hope women start getting bigger purses. What other fighters can I name? I mean, Amanda Serrano, she's knocked out most of her opponents. I mean, most female fighters don't really seem able to. They don't necessarily have a lot of knockouts on their record. I think the 2-minute rounds is an issue, but Serrano does it. She's knocked out plenty of people. I think the hardest punching woman of all time is probably Anne Wolf. I mean, you know, if you saw when she knocked out that basketball player, that tall, that massive woman.
How many people were scared of her and did not really fight her?
Oh, big right hand! One punch! That is it! Forget about the count. It is over. Tim Burr. Wow.
What a punch! That was a massive punch. So yeah, you got Serrano, you got McCaskill, you got plenty of female fighters out there. You got female fighters from Mexico, Argentina. They just need to get the opportunities. And if I had to say number one advice that I would give to women to sort of build their profiles and achieve success, I'd love to spar some of these female fighters. You know, I sparred Sandy Ryan years ago. And yeah, she beat me up, I underestimated her. But she's about the only woman I've ever had problems with in sparring. Every other woman I sparred, obviously they were easy, I had to go easy on them. But yeah, Sandy could fight. Like I thought I would be too strong for her. And Clifton Mitchell, her trainer, he said to me, she's probably gonna beat you up. I said, no, I'm too strong. I said, let me spar her. I sparred her, she beat me up, you know, that's all she wrote. But yeah, you know, hopefully over time, like last year I sparred Hosea Burton and I sparred Liam Williams, who are both sort of world-class fighters.
Go on, Apollo. Put your hand in.
Come on, Paul. This is your chance. Come on. Lovely. This is your turn. This is the difference between you, me, and Williams. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Finish. Come on.
On this flag? No, it's my. I'm from the Shackle car. Oh, I thought it was the gypsy flag. No, the gypsy flag. The people see the flag that build up my phone base.
Why don't the grass at the flags at the ground?
No, I think it's
everything.
Cool.
What flag is that? What country?
Eritrea.
Eritrea,
yeah. Alright, come on, let's have one. I thought you was from Egypt.
No.
Let's go, let's start.
Hey, hold on, your team's...
See that football, though? Yeah, there you go. See the football. Why you sounding like a statue? Go to him and then you need to respect him. You just came in. See? Always go to your opponent, then pull out. Don't wait on them. That makes sense. Wait for him to come to you. Go to him first. Yep, right back to him. Right up in him. Always get back up in there quick.
Camera don't work, brother. Your camera doesn't.
Once you have to solve that, He's gonna miss on purpose. That was cute. That was real cute.
Your feet, you almost don't try. Don't.
Knocking everything off the ring. Yeah, no. You might would have been right, man. You might would have knocked the camera down.
Any good runners in that country or what?
Hey, it only records in 1 minute clips though. Is that alright? Nah, it just goes black.
It does that.
Yeah, so I'll just keep restarting it. Yeah, in 1 minute clips.
No, it does that.
But like I say, hopefully this year start getting around different gyms, do some videos, do some documentaries, and I would love to spar some of these women. And yeah, obviously just as my profile grows, you know, just sort of keep sending them my videos on social media, and hopefully they'll notice. They'll say, okay, he's got a bit of a name going, and yeah, we don't mind sparring him. But I got a question though for any of these women. Like, I've started taking boxing seriously now. I've started training hard. So like, any woman I spar, like literally, I would love to spar any of them. Like literally, once if the opportunity comes up, you know, it'd be an honour to spar people like Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor, Cecilia Breakus. But I got a question though. Like, I've been lifting weights now, so I give any of these women permission. Like, if we spar, you can hit me as hard as you like. But I got a question. Do any of you think you punch hard enough to knock me out? Because I doubt it. But we'll see anyway. When the time comes, we'll see if any of you can. Yeah, we'll see if you can knock me out. You can try. You can hit me as hard as you like. I've got a good chin. You know, I've never been knocked out. Been dropped a couple of times, but I got up. I didn't get knocked out. But yeah, literally, I would love to fight. I would love to spar some of these female fighters, and yeah, literally, I'll spar anybody. I'll spar some of these men, and obviously, it just depends on. Obviously, it just depends if the opportunity comes up, and you know, just see what happens. But anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Send me any comments you have. Who are some of your favourite female fighters? Who would you like me to sort of do interviews with? Because I'm going to go to press conferences this year. I went to a Matchroom press conference before, the last one I went to was before lockdown. But yeah, you know, so I want to interview Eddie Hearn, I want to interview these female fighters, go to their gyms, do documentaries, you know, depending on what people agree to. And like I say, do any of you female fighters, or say the fans, yeah, if I can get a sparring session with some of these female fighters, do you think they can knock me out? Like Savannah Marshall, Katie Taylor, who else? Who punches hard? Savannah Marshall's a hard puncher. You've got Clarissa Shields as well. But as I said, do any of you think you can knock me out? Take care, yeah? Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, so this is just, I need to sort of give a quick message to Tasha Jonas. Yeah, sorry Tasha, basically I sent a tweet on Twitter recently where someone asked, they said, who do you think wins? They said, who wins the fight, Katie Taylor or Tasha Jonas? So I replied to it and I said, I think Katie Taylor wins the fight on unanimous decision. But I wasn't really looking, and I didn't realise that Tasha Jonas was tagged into the tweet. So she actually saw my tweet. So yeah, it was a little bit awkward, but I didn't mean anything disrespectful by it. I think you're a really good fighter, Tash. I look forward to the fight, but yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, you can win the fight. It's a hard fight to pick. It's really a hard fight to pick. If I had to be pushed, I think Katie Taylor is likelier to win the fight on, let's just say, points. But it's a hard fight to pick, so I could be wrong. Maybe Tash wins or Katie Taylor wins. All I know is I really want to see that fight. I really want to see that fight. So yeah, so I just thought I'd just say that, Tash. But anyway, hopefully I can try and come to one of these press conferences and yeah, try and, you know, depends if I'm not working, depends what day the press conference is. But yeah, you know, I really want to go to some press conferences this year and go to some gyms as well. And but anyway, all the best with the fight, Tash. Take care.